me, Jack, about a potential and very serious threat to Jabot.
I've stolen Kane's AI program. I want to make a deal with you. Are you interested?
The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, January 13th, tease Victor tightening his grip on Kane, Victoria and Adam scrambling to steady Newman, and Diane finally drawing a line with Jack about where his loyalty stands. Key takeaways. Diane issues Jack a firm ultimatum about his priorities and commitments. Victor corners Kane, leaving him with fewer and fewer options. Victoria and Adam work together to contain growing problems at Newman. Diane confronts Jack over Victor. Diane, Susan Walters, does not react to Jack's move against Victor with relief. She reacts with anger. After Jack, Peter Bergman, walked Matt Clark into the ranch and forced Victor, Eric Braden, into trading the AI for silence, Diane realizes something Jack does not want to admit. No matter how much he claims to be done with Victor's world, he keeps stepping back into it. For Diane, the issue is not whether Jack outsmarted Victor. It is that Jack once again made a massive decision that tied their lives to the Newmans instead of separating from them. It comes on the heels of Jack repeatedly shielding Nikki and softening his stance when Diane believes Victor should finally face consequences. That is what pushes Diane to draw a line. It is about whether Jack can ever truly walk away from the Newman orbit or whether Diane will always be collateral damage. Victor targets Kane as retaliation. Victor does not lash out at Jack directly. He looks for a pressure point. That pressure point is Kane, Billy Flynn. After losing control of Matt and being forced into the AI deal, Victor shifts his focus to Kane, who is already emotionally exposed after Lily's departure and increasingly influenced by Phyllis. Victor backs Kane into a corner, using leverage that is likely financial, professional, or legal, making it clear that Kane's attempt to reclaim power has consequences. Victoria and Adam move to contain fallout. With Victor destabilized and acting out, Victoria, Amelia Heinley, and Adam, Mark Grossman, step in to prevent internal damage at Newman. Victor losing control over Matt, the AI, and the narrative creates ripple effects inside the company. Investors, internal power structures, and legal exposure are all suddenly in play. Victoria and Adam move into damage control mode, attempting to stabilize what Victor just shook loose. He begins his own covert inquiry into Obsidian, not to help Jack, but to ascertain if this new power is a threat or a potential weapon to use against his father someday. Meanwhile, Nick, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Case, reunion hits a snag as her focus is pulled into the crisis through a terrified Summer, Allison Lanny, who fears for Kyle's stability. Jack's total fear, the trap springs shut. The second week opens with Jack's panic crystallizing into raw, total fear. A dossier arrives at his penthouse, not at Jabot. It contains no threats, only meticulously reproduced personal artifacts, a replica of his father's favorite pen, a photo of a youthful John Abbott with a man who bears a striking resemblance to Alain Laurent, and a copy of a journal entry in his mother Dina's handwriting, discussing a terrible bargain made to save the company in the 1980s. The message is clear: this isn't about business, it's a vendetta targeting the very soul of the Abbott legacy. Confronting Alan, Jack's composure shatters. "Who are you?" he demands. Laurent, ever unflappable, responds with chilling quietude. "I'm the interest on a debt, John Jr., a debt of blood and betrayal." The use of his given name, a name tied to his father, hits Jack like a physical blow. He realizes he's not fighting a corporate raider, but a ghost. Paranoia takes hold. He suspects his phones are tapped, his office bugged. He even briefly, horrifically, doubts Diane when he learns she's been conducting her own investigation. In a powerhouse scene, Jack collapses alone in the Abbott mansion, surrounded by portraits of his family, whispering to the ghost of his father, "What did you do? What did I fail to protect?" Kane's sinister triumph, the laughter echoes. The climax of the 2 weeks arrives in a private suite at the Genoa City Athletic Club. Kane, Alain Laurent, and a third, shadowy figure, a frail but sharp-eyed elderly woman introduced as Eleanor Reed, toast their success. The full scope of the plot is unveiled. Eleanor is the daughter of a man John Abbott allegedly ruined in a long-forgotten business deal, a deal that led to the man's suicide. Alan is her son. They have spent a lifetime waiting and planning their revenge. Kane, through his mother's side, is a distant relation, cast aside by the Abbott-adjacent elite for years. His motive is a bitter cocktail of familial loyalty and a deep-seated need to claim the power and respect he felt he was denied. As Laurent details how they will now leverage Jack's panic to force a hostile takeover that will strip the Abbott name from Jabot, Kane leans back. He recalls the slights, the times he was called the help, the way his marriage to Lily was undermined by the royal families of Genoa City. A low, genuine laugh escapes him, a sound devoid of joy, full of sinister triumph and decades of resentment. To legacies, he says, raising his glass, his eyes cold. And to watching them burn. Explosive fallout and unanswered questions. Billy's reckoning, discovering Kane's true role, Billy explodes. A physical confrontation between the two brothers-in-law is inevitable, with Billy's rage making him reckless and vulnerable. Diane in the crosshairs. Diane's investigation leads her directly to Eleanor Reed. Their meeting is tense, with Eleanor revealing a shocking piece of the past that implicates not just John, but Dina Abbott-Murgeron as well, threatening to destroy the Abbott matriarch's saintly legacy. Lily's mortification. When the truth about Kane's central role is exposed, Lily is devastated and furious. Her professional judgment and personal history are thrown back in her face, forcing her into an impossible battle. Save Chancellor Winters from collateral damage or stand with the family she's built with the Abbotts. Kyle's crisis of faith. Kyle, watching his father's breakdown, questions everything he knows about his family's history and his own place in it. He is torn between protecting Jabot and uncovering a truth that might destroy his grandfather's image forever. The Newman wild card. Victor, now seeing the plot as a threat to the entire Genoa City power structure, may be forced to intervene. Adam, possessing pieces of the puzzle, must decide whether to expose it for justice, exploit it for gain, or let his rival family fall. Conclusion. A city forever changed. As the episode fades on January 23rd, Genoa City is a different place. Jack Abbott is a shell, staring into an abyss of his family's hidden sins. Kane Ashby stands triumphant, his laughter a beacon of a new, ruthless order. The battle lines are no longer just between companies, but between history and the present, between redemption and revenge. The spoilers for these 2 weeks promise not just plot twists, but a fundamental shaking of the foundations of one of Genoa City's cornerstone families. The question hanging in the air is no longer what will happen to Jabot, but can the Abbott name, and the man who embodies it, survive? The game has been played, and the price of victory, or defeat, will be paid in blood, tears, and the very souls of those involved.